Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes. Did you read all the theories? Amal? Yes. Everybody? Meg? So we have reached which theory? Triarchic theory of intelligence. Before that, will I ask a few questions? How did Alfred Binet define intelligence? Ashish? Unmute and speak. How did Alfred Binet define intelligence? The three wells. Well, what was it? Tell me. Can't hear. I can't hear you. Okay, 1 minute. Another question. What is the other term given to explain psychometric approach? Mahek.
Structural approach.
Structural. Very good. Then Meghna. Give me any 4 primary mental abilities. Among the 7.
Verbal comprehension, word fluency, perceptual speed, and memory.
Aishwarya. Name some multiple intelligence. Multiple intelligence. Name a few.
Those 7.
No. Multiple in theory of multiple intelligence was by
Thursday.
No. Thurston's was primary mental abilities. That is what Meghna said now. And the next theory that we learned was theory of multiple intelligence, which you all taught me. Yes.
Howard.
Howard Gardner. Yes. Give me a few multiple intelligence.
Spatial,
musical,
bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, linguistic, logical, mathematical, naturalistic.
Do you have a mnemonic for that?
Actually, I studied it as a song.
Studied it as a song. How?
Linguistic, logical, spatial, musical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic.
Okay. Fine. Ashish, back. Fine. Unmute.
Yes.
Alfred Binney's definition of intelligence.
Judgeable.
He defined intelligence as the
He defined intelligence as judgeable,
the
reasonable,
ability to judge well, understand well, and
reasonable.
reason well. Ability to understand well, then judge well, reason well. 3 wells are there. Okay. Now, next theory that we are going to learn is triarchic theory. Triarchic theory of intelligence. So basically, according to our syllabus, this theory is considered as information processing theory. It is said that triarchic theory is considered as an information processing approach. It's not specifically given that the multiple intelligence is one among them. So if that is asked, then write it as triarchic theory. Example. Example for information processing approach, if it is asked, write as triarchic theory of intelligence. Okay. And that was proposed by Robert Sternberg. Robert Sternberg, underline that, Robert Sternberg. When you hear the word Sternberg, what do you think of first? Yes, anyone? When you hear the word Sternberg, what do you think of first?
Iceberg.
Iceberg, isn't it? Yes? Nobody felt so? Nobody felt so. Aishwarya felt. Others? Kind of. Yeah. So this theory, what is the name of the theory? Triarchic. Spelling. Yeah. Triarchic theory by Robert Sternberg. By the end of the chapter, make a list of these theories, just the names and the proponents, and keep. Okay, so it'll be easy for you to study. There are too many names coming up in the upcoming theories also. Like in the personality itself, you have so many people. Eysenck's personality theory, then what else? I don't know whichever one. Allport's theory will be there. Then type A, type D. Then stages of personality, psychodynamic approach by Sigmund Freud. Remember Sigmund Freud? Who was he? Father of psycho. Psycho. Analysis. Yes, correct. Okay, so back to our triarchic theory by Robert Sternberg. When you hear that, remember about iceberg. 3 icebergs. One iceberg here, one iceberg here, another iceberg here. Triarchic. Tri means? Tri means? 3. So remember them as 3 arcs or iceberg, connected with arc and iceberg from Sternberg. Okay, and there are 3 main concepts or components of intelligence according to triarchic theory by Sternberg. We'll see what we'll see what they are. Sana, please read out. Page 8.
Robert Sternberg proposed the triarchic theory of intelligence. Sternberg views intelligence as the ability to adapt, to shape and select environments to accomplish one's goals and those of one's society and culture.
Yeah, underline that. He defined intelligence as the ability to adapt, to shape and select environment to accomplish one's goals and those of one's societies and culture. Those of one's society and culture means the goals of society and culture. So what is the aim of all these things? To satisfy or to achieve one's goals, one's own goals, or the goals of the society or the goals of the culture. What is done in intelligence? It is the ability to adapt. Adapt means to adjust, to shape. To shape means to form in different ways. To shape and select environment. To select what to do. To select what to choose from the different stimuli in the environment. That is the concept. The ability to adapt, to shape and select environment to accomplish or to achieve one's own goals, the culture's goals, the society's goals. The aim can be anything, one's own goals, culture's goals, or the society's goals. What do? We adapt, we select, we also shape the environment. Okay, adapt, shape, and we select the environment. And why do we do this? To accomplish or to achieve something. What is that something? Three things. Either our goals or the culture's goals or the society's goals. Okay, continue, Sana.
According to this theory, there are three basic types of intelligence: componential, experiential, and contextual. The elements of the triarchic theory of intelligence are shown in the figure 1.1.
Just see that figure. Figure 1.1, elements of triarchic theory of intelligence. The three main things are the three basic types of intelligence. They are componential, experiential, and contextual. Please underline that because they are having, each one of them are having different names also. So just write down those names first. Componential is also known as analytical intelligence. In the first line of those bolded letters, you have it. You underline or you write down somewhere. Componential or analytical intelligence. Then experiential is also known as creative intelligence. And contextual intelligence is also known as practical intelligence. Now, just read what componential intelligence is. That is the first part. Just silently read, everybody. Understand it and just don't read for the sake of reading. Understand the concept and read. Finished? Finished? Yes. Did you understand anything? Hmm? Do you understand anything?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. What did you understand?
It is also known as analytic intelligence,
Hmm.
and it is about how we analyze a problem and solve it. It is divided into three.
Hmm.
And first one is the
Hmm.
knowledge acquisition compound, in
Hmm.
which how we acquire the knowledge.
Acquire the information, attain knowledge. Yes.
And the second one is the meta or a higher
Meta.
order component.
Hmm.
It involves how we plan what to do and how to do.
Hmm.
And the third one is the performance component, in which how it deals with how we perform it or how we actually do the work.
Yes. So this is regarding problem solving, isn't it? We analyze what is written there, analytical intelligence. It is the analysis of information to solve some problem. Componential intelligence, the other name for it is analytical intelligence. If you know that name, then you can explain it very easily, which means you analyze different information, different pieces of information, different stimuli coming in your environment. And then what do? You analyze it carefully in order to solve your problem. Okay, there are three main steps or three main components for that also. What theory are we learning? We are learning triarchic theory by Robert Sternberg. In that, there are three types of intelligence. They are componential, then experiential, then contextual. In that, again, subdivisions come. In componential, we have three basic things or three basic functions, we can say. First is the knowledge acquisition component. Knowledge acquisition means how to attain some form of knowledge. We have to solve a problem, right? Even if it is a mathematical problem, what should we do? We should know the equations, the formulas, and the theories and the laws and all in order to solve that problem. So the first is knowledge acquisition component. Then the second is the meta or the higher order component, which involves planning concerning what to do and how to do. So you have gathered information in the first step. And the second step, what do you do? With that information at hand, what should you do? Or how should you allocate all these equations? You plan for all those things. Finally, in the third stage, what is happening? The third is the performance component, which involves actually doing things. So finally, you solve that problem. You act it out. Okay. So again, in triarchic theory by Robert Sternberg, I told you to remember it as three arcs. So you'll remember, there'll be a cue for you to remember the triarchic theory. Okay. And which are the three components? One is componential. Then experiential. Then you have contextual. Componential, you might be a bit confused with the spelling. Just write component first and add IAL. Okay. Experiential, don't keep writing S for T. This T. EXPERIENTIAL. Okay. Contextual, it's easy. Spelling is easy. So we have three main types of intelligence in triarchic theory by Robert Sternberg. We have seen componential intelligence now, which means analytical intelligence, which is the ability to solve problems, ability to analyze something and then solve problems. This analytical intelligence. So we should be able to analyze it first. Then we solve a problem. In that, what do we do generally? We gather information, then we plan what to do, how to do all those things. Finally, we do it. The concept is easy. Just try to remember things in a serial fashion. In componential intelligence, it is also known as analytical intelligence. Study that first. So analytical intelligence means analysis of something. So analyze the information, then solve the problem. How do you solve a problem? Even if it is a mathematical problem or a daily life problem, what do you do generally? You gather information first. You study all the things first. Then you plan what is to be done. Later on, you do it. Yes? Okay, suppose if you want to build a new house of your own, your dream home, what do you do generally? You do all the research on the different designs, the architecture, the costs that would come. Then you will gather each and every piece of information available to you. You will browse in the internet, you will ask to your friends who might be engineers or architects and so and so. Finally, not finally, as a second step, what do? You plan for it. You make a plan for the area in which you should build it, how many floors it should be, what is the design, how many rooms it should have. Yes, you plan for it. And finally, you start building. You start the process, and finally, you have a finished product, which is your dream home. That is how it works. Understood? Componential intelligence. Okay. Next one is experiential intelligence. Read that also. Finished. Yes? Okay. Now, Elvina, read out what experiential intelligence is.
Experiential intelligence. Experiential or creative intelligence is involved in using past experiences creatively to solve novel problems. It is reflected in creative performance. Persons high on this aspect integrate different experiences in an original way to make new discoveries and inventions. They quickly find out which information is crucial in a given situation.
Yes. So, can you give me an example according to whatever you understood from experiential intelligence? The other name for experiential intelligence is creative intelligence. It is involved in using past experiences creatively to solve novel problems. Novel means new. Okay, you use your past information or past experiences that you have in order to solve a new problem that comes in your life. Can you think of an example? It need not be a board exam worth example. Just tell me an example from your own life. Anything is fine. Yes. Elvina wants to tell me something. Isn't it?
Ma'am, in the that original way to make new discoveries, no, and new inventions. So in that, that scientist will be included.
Yes. She so badly wanted to discuss it, but she didn't know whether this is a blunder. She was so confused and reflected on her face. Everybody is sitting like that. Share it with me. Share your opinions. Share your examples. Come on. That is correct only. Scientists and the yesterday we discussed. In which multiple intelligence do they belong to? Ashish, scientists. Where do they belong to? Which multiple intelligence do they have?
Experiential.
Multiple intelligence. Howard Gardner's theory. Yesterday we discussed.
Mathematical and logical.
Logical and math. What happened to my throat? Logical, mathematical. Okay, that's correct. Yeah, high in logical, mathematical intelligence. Yeah, experiential intelligence. So if we apply that example, what do? They have studied a lot about all these information. They have had so many experiences, and experienced people are taken to ISRO, NASA and all, isn't it? If I just graduate and do my post-graduation and I simply go and knock the door of NASA, will they admit me there? No. You should have enough qualification, enough experience to work there. Yes. And the thing is, they use all these pieces of information to make a new discovery or in a very creative manner. They create something new. They try to create something new from their past experience, using information from their past experiences. That is why that is an example of experiential intelligence. Then, any other example? If you find example, that means you have really understood the topic. That's what I'm making you do. It's less likely that you forget the concept. Who is absent today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Amal. Amal is absent. Yes. Experiential anymore?
When you try to make out something and if you fail 100 times, then you can realize that if you do this in this way, it won't
work.
It won't work.
Yes.
So those past experiences can lead you to make a new invention.
Yes. Have you heard about Edison? You thought of him? Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. What was Edison's reaction when people were teasing him? Because who was Edison, by the way? Anybody who does not know Thomas Alva Edison? Who was he?
Founder of electric bulb.
Found out electric bulb, or rather invented electric bulb. You can say like that. Yeah, people began teasing him because he had failed millions and millions of times in making that electric bulb. It did not work. Okay. And what did he say?
He have found out 1,000 ways in which it won't work.
Yes, he have found out 1,000 or million ways in which the electric bulb cannot be made. So positive, right? Positive thinking. Yes. And Mehek has given an example in the chat box, trying to find out new methods of copying in exam because the previous method was caught by the teacher. Again, real life example. Yes, because we have past experiences there. Lots of past experiences are there. And then you find new ways. to solve the new problem. Usually before Corona, pre-COVID, I would say, during that period in exams, it was really easy. You could really, when the teacher turns the other side, you could really do actions with your all forms of Kathakali with your lips and then share answers. But now it's really difficult because you have a what on? A mask on your face. Okay, so the only thing left is your eyes. Really, you have to learn Kathakali to convey information through that method. So again, that is experiential. So through experience, after 2-3 years, you'll be expert in that too. You'll create new ways to solve a new problem. That is experiential intelligence. Okay, understood? Yes, that is thorough, I think. Yeah, now we'll move on to contextual intelligence. Next one. Read it, read it. And please switch on your videos, Diana and Sana. Contextual intelligence. Next one. Contextual intelligence is practical intelligence. Finished? Practical intelligence. Contextual intelligence is also known as what intelligence? Practical intelligence. So componential intelligence, it was also known as analytical intelligence. Experiential was known as creative, and the other one was, what was it? Tell me.
Practical.
Practical intelligence. Okay. Componential, analytical, experiential, creative, contextual, practical. Context. Context means, what does context mean? We have studied about cultural context, blah, 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 blah. All those context situations and all. What do you mean by context?
Situation or environment.
Situation or environment of that particular moment. Yes. Now you are in a classroom context or in an online meeting. That is your context. And if I'm telling about fall, the word fall, F-A-L-L. When I write autumn according, just see on the board. If I write fall here and I write autumn, what is denoting of that word fall?
Autumn.
Autumn leaves, or in autumn, what happens? The leaves fall, isn't it? That is another meaning. I'm writing for kid, another word bicycle. What would that mean? This fall would mean the kid fell from the bicycle, isn't it? So if the context or scene or the environment is described, then different words have different meanings, isn't it? Different according to the context. So there are different contextual meanings for something. What does that mean? According to a situation or environment, the meaning keeps on changing. Similarly, contextual intelligence means the intelligence we have or the ability we have in order to practically apply something in different situations and then solve the problem. That is why it is called practical intelligence. Just see that it is called practical intelligence. It involves the ability to deal with environmental demands encountered on a daily basis. Yes, one example can be while cooking, your mom. Consider your mom cooks in the kitchen, and then one day, what happens? The curry has so much of salt, and there are some 20 guests coming to your house that day. What would she do?
Try to make another order in a hotel.
That is one method. Then
We'll try to make another curry.
at home, yes. If she has time, yes. Otherwise, do you know
How
how
to
to fix?
adjust the salt?
Right. How do you adjust the salt?
By adding
Depends upon the curry.
ingredients.
Depends on the curry. Yeah, Grishma is telling something.
By adding more of all the other ingredients.
By adding all of more of other ingredients, yes. Do you know how potato can help? When you add some potatoes to the curry, they tend to suck up all that extra saltiness in the curry. Not some 2 boxes of salt, but still it helps a bit. So she can fix it in some or the other way, isn't it? That is again practical intelligence because she has a problem. This problem might come on a daily basis, isn't it? Yeah, she might put more amount of salt or she might put less amount of salt. She should manage it because she has so many people to feed. Yes, so that is practical intelligence. Can you think of any other example for practical intelligence? Where you apply practical knowledge on a daily basis. I'll tell you one example. When you are absent for the class, usually I see this frequently in junior classes. What happened? Ma'am, network issue. Ma'am, connection issue. Ma'am, there was a power failure in my house. I couldn't attend class. Simple. On the spot, the excuses will come. And if we ask if you didn't have this, what do you call, the power failure or the network issue for the happy hour? No, ma'am. That time power failure came, the network was stable. Again, practical intelligence. On the spot, they have solutions. Yeah. And this occurs on a daily basis too. Understood? So that is practical intelligence. And it may be called street smartness. Underline that, street smartness or business sense. So board exam questions won't be as simple as you dealt with till now. They might ask words like this. What do you mean by street smartness or business sense? After learning 7 or 9 chapters, will you be able to remember all these things? The minute things matter. So underline that and read too many times. street smartness or business sense. That is related to our contextual intelligence. The people high in this contextual intelligence or practical intelligence, they are known as street smarts. Okay. And their quality is known as street smartness. Then, persons high on this aspect easily adapt to their present environment or select a more favorable environment than the existing one, or modify the environment to fit their needs. That is what your mom did. She modified the environment to fit her need. Whatever was there in the environment, she adjusted with that. Okay. Otherwise, another example is a new employee to an organization. A new employee came to an organization, and this person within 2 days became very friendly with everyone, did all those strategies and mechanisms in order to get to the position of the manager. Okay, within 2 or 3 days, he did all kinds of not hard work, but smart works, the tricky things, in order to gain the trust of all other people in that organization, and then became the manager. That person is also said as street smart. He or she has more amount of, or they are high in practical intelligence or contextual intelligence. Got it? Okay, now just try to recollect whatever we learned in this theory, triarchic theory. There is one more theory remaining that is known as PASS model, PASS. It stands for, just underline that and keep, that we'll study in the next class. Planning, attention arousal, simultaneous successive model of intelligence. Actually, there are 4 processes happening there. Planning is there, then attention arousal, that comes as a set, then simultaneous processing is there, successive processing is there. PASS model by J.P. Das and Jack Nigleri and Kirby. Weird names, right? We learned another person with the initial JP. Who was that? JP?
J.P. Guilford.
JP Guilford. And which theory did we learn from him? Ford, remember? Who came in Ford? Huh? Yeah, you're right, Aishwarya. Who came in Ford?
COPS.
COPS. COP. C stands for?
Cognitive, operational, and product.
Operations correct. Products correct. For us to do any operation, we need what in our hand?
Product.
Product is the end result. We need to do the operation. We need to have something in our hand. What is it?
Content.
Contents. Contents, operations, production. Products. Sorry, not production, products. Okay. And that was a what model? 3-dimensional model. It is known as structure of intellect. Yeah, that's there in your text, right? Yeah, structure of intellect model by J.P. Guilford. Structure of intellect model. Okay, we'll just revise triarchic theory, and if we have time, we'll put mnemonics for multiple intelligence, blah, blah, blah. Okay, triarchic theory. It was proposed by Robert Sternberg. So connect this arc along with the iceberg. So we get the arc-shaped icebergs. 3 icebergs are there because it is triarchic theory. Draw 3 arcs and learn. 3 arcs are there. That is triarchic theory. It was proposed by Robert Sternberg. And here we have componential, experiential, and contextual. Componential is also known as analytical intelligence. Experiential is also known as creative intelligence. Contextual is also known as what intelligence?
Practical.
Practical intelligence. And in componential, what do? We have analytical intelligence, which means it is the ability to analyze the information, then solve the problem. In experiential, what do? We have so many experiences and we are creative. It's creative intelligence. So we have past experiences. Based on that, we deal with a new problem. We apply that to a new problem. In contextual intelligence, what do? According to different contexts in the environment, we have practical knowledge or practical intelligence. So what do? Either we try to change our environment or we change ourselves in order to fit into the environment. That is practical intelligence. Okay? Got it? Yes. So which are the theories that we learned till now? First one was the simplest one, unifactor theory by unifactor theory by
Alfred Binet.
Alfred Binet. Then two-factor theory by
Charles Spearman.
Charles Spearman. Spearman, the spear on two ends. Remember that. Then the third one that we learned was by Thurston, Louis Thurston.
Louis
Thurston. And how many? What was the theory about? Primary
Mental abilities.
Primary mental abilities. How many primary mental abilities were there?
7.
7. And after that, we learned Arthur Jensen's theory, which was a hierarchical model. It had 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. Then what were the 2 levels? One was with associative learning. Second one was not cognitive learning, it is cognitive competence. Okay. Then what did we learn? J.P. Guilford, structure of intellect. That is the 3-dimensional model, and it has COP, the content, operations, and products. Then we have how many cells in that 3D model?
180.
180. 6 into 5 into 6, right? Yes. Then theory of multiple intelligence. Till now, it was psychometric approach. All the theories were psychometric approach. Then another theory is theory of multiple intelligence. That was by Howard Gardner. We used to connect that with the fact that R. Gardner has multiple intelligence. He does multiple jobs. Okay, that is how we used to remember it. So Howard Gardner, starting from linguistic, logical, mathematical, then spatial, musical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal and intrapersonal, naturalistic. Okay, then we learned the latest one, that is triarchic theory of intelligence, in which we had triarchic, that was by Robert Sternberg. And we had 3 types of intelligence in that. This is known as an information processing approach towards intelligence. Then the 3 types of intelligence were the componential or analytical, then experiential or creative, then contextual or practical. Okay. Now we have one more theory which we'll learn in the next class. After that, small topics are there regarding intelligence. Emotional intelligence, special abilities. The rest of it is quite simple, small topics. Okay, so now shall we give some mnemonics? Which one are you finding very difficult to remember? Which theory? Got all of multiple intelligences? No. Don't sit blank. Please tell me something. Did you try with any of the mnemonics? I should have told she learned it as a song. Others? Igna?
I studied in that order.
You studied that order. Okay. Okay. And what about the primary mental abilities? That was our IAS, right? Prime Minister's thing. Which changed it into INS. Hmm? Okay. How are the theories till now? Too much? Average? Very easy? Average. Yes. This is nothing as compared to the things that are coming up. Just see the contents of the textbook. Did you go through all the chapters? No. Yeah, next one will be self and personality. Then we have meeting life challenges, how to meet with life challenges. Then the fourth one is going to be the most interesting. And I hope you're waiting for that chapter. Isn't it? Most of the students who opt psychology are waiting for that particular chapter, psychological disorders. Then we have therapeutic approaches. Once you have learned disorders, you have to learn how to treat them. That's why we are learning therapeutic approaches. Then we have attitude and social cognition. Then attitude and social cognition is completely different from the concept that we have now. What do you mean by attitude? When you want to post a photograph on Instagram, your photographer says, show some attitude. Isn't it? Yes? But that attitude, then positive attitude, negative attitude, that's all completely different from what we are going to learn. I mean, that is there, but that's too simple for us now. We are going to complicate things even more. Then, social influence and group processes. How does a group work? How does people around you influence you? Which psychology does that come under? Which subfield of psychology? How others influence you, how your social environment influences you. Which branch of psychology deals with that?
Environment psychology.
That's an environmental psychology is regarding how or how we are concerned about the environment, how we can apply psychological principles to save our environment. This is something related to that word itself, social influence and group processes. Social psychology, remember? Yeah, that's related to social psychology. Then social psychology is relatively the easiest branch in psychology. Okay, then we have psychology and life, developing psychological skills. That's it. Okay, and after these theories, we'll be learning about the equation that I have been asking you for a very long time. What was that equation? IQ equals
MA by CA into 100.
MA by CA into 100. You'll get to know what MA and CA are and what really is IQ, how to find that and how to score it, how to interpret it. Then we have intellectual deficiencies. What happens when IQ goes very down? What happens when IQ goes very high? And both are problems. It's better to maintain an average level. Then types of intelligence test, how to test intelligence. Then culture and intelligence. In all, I told you, no, in the first chapter itself, in whatever we study, we'll study individual differences and cultural differences. In perception, remember, we studied. In human development, remember, we studied cultural differences in how people view death. In that culture, death is considered this. In that culture, death is. So, in most of the chapters, you'll have this cultural differences. Then you have emotional intelligence, which is a very, very important topic for +2 and very important topic for your life also. Emotional quotient, EQ. Then special abilities like aptitude, then creativity and intelligence. Okay. We shall wind up and meet in the next class. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.